Oh, you guys are here to watch me. Just understand, you're here to watch me. And when I walk down that aisle, the world will get up and they'll realize he's here. It's Rube. And get ready for the show of your life.
I wash my before my feet. I do. Yo, what's going on, guys? Chris Tutela here alongside
Ruben Borges.
On another episode of TTS Talk. And this is episode number 9. To kick off 2019. So first and foremost, we want to wish you all a very happy and healthy new year. Hopefully this is your year to dominate. Forget about all that bullshit New Year's resolution junk going on out there. If you want real sustainable change, it's that battle in between your ears. So get that in check first and foremost, and that's how you're going to accomplish whatever you want.
Be sure to be relentless in pursuit of your passion this year.
That's right. And I felt like the best way to kick off the first episode of 2019 is by answering
questions.
Some of your questions. The other day I was getting a lot of messages on Instagram with people asking us questions. So we figured today we'd just go right to the questions that you guys sent in and see what we can answer for you guys.
What do we got first?
All right. First and foremost, let's see. I think this one's for Ruben. How are you so jacked?
Is that really real?
It is.
Well, that's a real question, the way I'm going to ask. I'm consistent. I've been consistent since...
This is such an egomaniac.
No.
He answers the question. No. Well, first step.
It's really true, though. I've been consistent, and plus, I'm not really jacked, but I'm flattered if someone really did answer that. I don't believe you, though.
Okay. So, one question was, how often are workouts changed and cycled through at TTS? So typically every 3 to 4 weeks, but you could do it as often as every 2 weeks if you'd like to. So change up your program. That's what keeps it interesting. That's what keeps you motivated, and you can kind of switch up exercises and play with different things to progress and make sure that you don't end up
frying yourself out, maybe.
Frying yourself out, but also that pattern overload and doing the same movements where you get those overuse injuries.
I got another thing to go on there, especially with guys who are consistent, been training for a while, and they have their programs, they're going for 3-4 weeks. Don't be afraid, and let's say you did a program for 2 weeks, you're on your 3rd week of it, and maybe your lower back is tweaking up a little bit, and the certain exercise you're going to do on your day 3 of your program consists of a hinge or consists of a loaded pattern where you're going to feel your lower back. Make that change there. Don't do it. I know some people when they write the program, they do it. They want to hit
just because it's on paper doesn't mean it's what you have to do. You could cycle through something if
we go through life. Let's say at work you got hurt a little, you slipped and fell during the week or something like that. Just change up your program. Maybe you hit those muscles to a point where you're training around that pain. You can still get your workout in, but just be careful with that. I was at fault of that. I know early on.
Same here.
I wrote it down. I'm doing it. I don't care no matter what, even if there's pain. And that's something I learned within the last couple of years to kind of
remember
easy, put the ego out the door and kind of.
Some of those days where the only time we would have to train is like 5 o'clock in the morning. We would be coming in like hungover on 3 hours of sleep.
Yes,
if we had like a back off set of 20 reps on a squat, we were doing that shit no matter what. So that's something that I would go back and change. Like if you didn't get much sleep or you're really having a bad day, like it is okay to kind of back down the program that you had for the day. I'm not telling you not to work hard. That's a whole different story.
Yeah, this is
right, but this is for those who are working hard already and are making progress and busting their ass day in and day out. If you're already at a point where you're a little bit more advanced, you could certainly, change up what you had planned for the day. You don't have to be set in stone.
One, I remember specifically when early in the programming days, you were kind of running the program for me, and I was just training with you, and we had a vicious leg day, and I believe it was on a Saturday or a Friday. And I remember I just not looking forward to it, but we were battling through it. It was one of these days. It was one of those break a sweat. I think we vomited a couple times during that day, and I come in, I'm like, Chris, you ready? I was like, I ain't gonna bitch, let's do this. And I remember you looked at me and go, we're going down the shore tonight. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really feel like doing this day. Let's just pump up the guns. I remember we were both in the same place. I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. We crushed arms that day, headed down the shore.
Or do you, and that's funny. And do you remember when I was working for the fire department?
Okay.
We had to train before I went to the firehouse. So we were training at like 5 a.m. and we just started a new program, and I got the flu, and I didn't realize I had the flu
until like your second set or something.
But I started puking, and I kept trying to battle through it, and I was like, nah, dude, I think I'm good this time. And I puked probably like 3 or 4 times throughout that entire workout.
No, the best
going back there, like I was fucking sick as a dog.
First time, you left, you came back, you Rube, let's do this. I'm back. I'm like, oh shit, let's fucking do this.
I thought I was.
I think the very next set, he went down to one knee and was on the bench, and I was like, Chris, it's all right, man. It's like just chill out.
And I got to the firehouse that day, and they sent me to the hospital because that was the policy. You had to go to the emergency room if you had to go home sick. So I'm like, I got like an IV, and I'm like freezing my ass.
You went through like 3/4 of that day. I was like, yo, take it easy, man.
I know. So the short answer. We change our programs here every 3 to 4 weeks, but you could do it as often as every 2 weeks. Just make sure you're cycling through exercises and training intelligently. And to that point, you could certainly change up what you have planned for the day if you're not feeling it. So what are your thoughts on CBD oil? So CBD oil is a pretty popular thing right now. I have personally never used it. How about you?
I haven't used it, but my girlfriend Nicole, shout out to Nicole, she's been using it and she loves it. And she actually just ran out now and she definitely feels a lot better. Her sleep's better. It definitely has done wonders for her. And come to think about it, I should probably get her one. She'll appreciate it.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, so she loves it. She's
get me any gifts.
She's the only other person. I do. You don't wear them. Remember, I bought you a nice shirt.
He bought me a shirt that said the Liftinator on it with a picture of
mad cool. He still hasn't worn it
with a fake Arnold. I gave it to my roommate.
But with that CBD oil, yeah, with her, it did. She loves it. So that's the only other person that I know of.
Yeah, I've gotten great feedback on it. The people that I've suggested it to and people that I respect in the industry say they love it for inflammation and to help them sleep. People that are dealing with joint pain. So maybe something you want to try out. If you do get drug tested for work, make sure it doesn't have THC in it, because then you might fail that fucking drug test. But otherwise, I hear nothing but great things about CBD so far. Okay, so I'm interested to see your response to this, but what's the most overrated exercise? Now, I have a few, so name one or a few that you have as far as overrated exercises.
I guess for the average, barbell bench press. I think that gets such a big hype. It's been, when you think of someone that trains, especially someone that doesn't train, the first question they ask you, how much you bench? And I just think that's just commonly overused. People, that's their go-to, and they don't realize no other way to horizontally press in a safer manner.
Yeah, or if they don't develop other areas, right?
Yeah.
If you're just fixated on the bench and just it's never going to have that carryover to the real world. Not that the bench is a bad exercise, I don't think, but it's not the end all be all like most gym bros will talk
that's
about,
where I'm getting at. It's just like, that's literally their chest days only, barbell bench.
Right.
For maybe 3 to 8
fucking
sets.
bench press, bro.
I mean, I did it for like 5-6 sets, and the first time I was like heavily training.
Yeah. So for me, I have a few. I put burpees, sit-ups, leg press, leg extensions, and crunches. So listen, burpees, they could be used in an effective way, but they're also overused. And there's also people that shouldn't be doing them. They could be pretty dangerous on the knees. So you got to be careful with doing that. And it's not the fucking best exercise on the planet either. Sit-ups. Listen, the abs, I'm not completely against sit-ups like some coaches out there are. I do work them into the program. But they're not the best abdominal exercise if you're trying to get ripped. First of all, if you're trying to get ripped abs, it's your diet that you got to get in check, right?
Abs are made in the kitchen.
Right, but you do have to train your abs to develop the muscle, right? But when you deadlift, when you squat, it's argued that could be enough. But I like to do a lot of rotational and anti-rotational exercises.
Circuits.
So sit-ups and crunches, those two kind of go together. And plus, if you're just doing pure spinal flexion, that could beat up your low back. So if you got a jacked up lower back and you're doing sit-ups and crunches all the time, that could jack it up and make it even worse. So just be careful with that. The leg press.
Yeah, that's...
Listen. If you can leg press 10,000 pounds, but you can't squat 135 pounds to parallel, that leg press is not impressive, right? So I'm not saying that the leg press...
body weight lunge.
Right.
Leg press all that, and can you do a body weight lunge?
There's no stability, right? And that's not to say that a leg press or even the leg extensions, which I also have on here, are bad exercises. They're okay for some people, especially if you're a bodybuilder, if you're training for a physique transformation.
They have their purpose.
They serve it. They have their place for sure, and you can work them in. But they're not the end-all, be-all. So, leg pressing, 100 plates on your leg press, that's not the... Listen, it's not the safest thing, and it's also, you're not going to get the biggest bang from your buck, like you would with other lower body exercises where you're training strength, stability, hypertrophy, and all the other stuff that you're actually looking to train for. It might look badass, but it's not as badass as it may seem.
Would you add this to exercise or maybe, and what was the question again?
Most overrated exercise.
Overrated. The treadmill? I mean, I feel like some people just go with the treadmill and just...
Yeah, again, like it has
cardio.
It has its place, right? But do you have to go run or walk on a treadmill in order to lose body fat or in order to quote unquote get in shape? No, absolutely not. You don't have to do that. I haven't ran or walked on a treadmill in, I don't know, 10 years probably.
It's too boring. I
got bored out of my mind. Right. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, you definitely don't have to do that. What's the best life lesson you learned? And I'll let you start off with this. What's the best life lesson you'd say you learned? If you had to break it into a quote, let's just, anything you want, but.
All right. Realize you're worth it. Realize that you are good enough to do whatever it is you want to do in your life and not to look bad upon yourself. So I guess to kind of boil that up in one sentence, like, don't worry about what others think of you. Know what you're capable of doing and know your talents. I think sometimes we forget, take pride in what you're good at and the type of person you are because you're awesome.
Nice, man. Yeah. Don't start fucking crying.
No, I'm just...
Yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And yeah, a lot of times people hold themselves back because they don't believe that they're worth it, right? So they'll hold that shit back. So that's great.
And that's like in anything, if they're looking to achieve something, go to a new job or whatever it is, they're like, you know what, I'm not good enough for this. Let me just stay where I'm at right now. Nah, go for it. You are good enough. You're ready for the next level, next chapter of your life.
That's awesome. Yeah. So for me, I just, because there was like one thing, the first thing that popped in my mind when I answered this question, it's one of my favorite quotes, and it's how you do anything is how you'll do everything.
That's awesome, and
Right? So it's really a message that I share here a lot too at the gym, and I write about it a lot because when you're putting in work, when you're applying yourself, like that is going to carry over to every other area of your life, right? So if you half-ass it in the gym, or if you half-ass it at work, or if your car's a mess, or your bedroom's a mess, that shit spills over into other areas. So if your car's a mess, most likely your life is going to be a mess, your business is going to be a mess, or your workspace, whatever. So everything that you do it, and this sounds a little cliche, but do it 110%, right? How you do anything is how you will do everything. It carries over into every area. So just make sure that there's garbage on the floor, pick that shit up, throw it out. You see something outside, or there's a fucking shopping cart that some asshole couldn't put back because they couldn't walk 10 feet, put it back, like contribute to society, contribute to, and help other people. But
that actually bothers me, that cart thing, but to touch back, and I had a combo with you once, and you said it as a friend, obviously, and looking to help me out, and explaining that quote to me, and he brought it to my attention. Listen, and he knows I work hard. He knows, I do what I do in my life. But he was like, hey, even something as simple as your car, because I'm not gonna lie, my car a little messy. I kind of don't care for it as much.
Cockroaches and trees.
Maybe not that intense, but he kind of brought it to my attention. Like, man, just kind of represent yourself, better, even when it comes to like that car. I know that's not your favorite car, which this year looking to get a nice. Badass vehicle. But that does go a long way, guys. Simple as waking up in the morning, when to start the day, make your bed. Get organized.
I just did a whole like declutter of my room. I had a bunch of like, because I was kind of like in between moves and shit, so I had clothes piled up, and I was just like, once I got rid of that shit, I just got rid of a whole bunch of clothes and like bills and shit I had lying around that I just threw out. And and every time I do that, it's such a freeing feeling. It's like all this shit is just out of my life. Like, get this crap out of here. And your mind, you think better. You have a little less brain fog, a little bit more clarity. So that stuff is super important.
It's just tough, and I'm like, Sam, I gotta throw this away. And it's like an old WWE shirt of the NWO.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta keep it.
Yeah.
I should just throw it away.
Throw that shit away. You don't need it. You hold on to it you have an emotional attachment to that fucking thing. Don't worry. Take a picture of it and throw the shirt in.
Save it, yeah.
So this one I'll just answer because I'm sure we're both going to agree on it, but if there's anything you want to add. So what is one exercise that everyone needs in their routine? And I didn't have one, I had a few variations. We talked about it already, we probably beat it to death on this show already. But a squat variation, a hinge variation, a vertical and horizontal push, a vertical and horizontal pull, a lunge, a drag, and a loaded carry. Is there anything you want to add to that?
That's just perfect. And that's what it needs to be.
There's not one exercise, there's not one magic exercise, just like there's not one magic diet program. You just got to put in the work. But those are the staples that you need in your program. And then, of course, maybe some elbow flexion, elbow extension on the days that you go to Tiki Bar if you're living over here in Jersey. Let's see. Why am I getting fat again? I have no idea.
Your answer to this is pretty funny.
What are you eating? I have no idea.
It's very simple. Yeah.
What tattoo is the most symbolic to you? So for me, I like traditional Japanese tattooing. So for me, it's the dragon, the tiger, the lotus flower, and cherry blossoms in traditional Japanese tattooing. You got a smiley face on your butt cheeks.
Here's the dragon with the Puerto Rican flag coming out of my skin.
Do you use a steam room? I have not, but I've done a sauna before, and I plan on doing that at least twice a week for the new year. That's one of my goals that I'll make happen for sure.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I wanted to try to do that more as well.
Yeah, there's a ton of health benefits now. There's more and more studies talking about the benefits of heat shock proteins that develop when you're in extreme heat that are great for fighting off disease, and even there was a study Dr. Rhonda Patrick talked about a bunch of times, and it was on men who sauna, I think 4 times a week for 20 minutes. I'm not sure the exact study, but their overall mortality risk was down like 40% or something crazy like that. All cause mortality, like heart attack, stroke, cancer, everything. So
get in that sauna.
That's pretty crazy. What makes TTS better than a regular gym? Let's let you answer that.
I think the culture that we build, number one, when we're in here, everyone has each other's back, everyone's pushing you to the next level, and I think our biggest thing is how customized we are. If we see this movement's not for you, we're not going to beat it to you till you just keep doing it and hurt your back. We have a variation for you to train those muscle groups and to perform at your best.
Yeah. For me, I wrote down, and this was on Instagram, so it was a short single words, but coaching, programming, results, culture, hard work, support, accountability, nutritional coaching, a home away from home, specialty equipment, and my man, Rubacito.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And this guy too.
Yeah. And Big Game James. You guys haven't had him on the show.
James. He's gonna change the game.
He'll be here soon.
But yeah, coach, you do a great job with the programming, the variations. I mean, these guys all know, like, if they can't perform a certain exercise, they have the regression or the alternate to it, and they're gonna feel just as good doing it. They're gonna be able to load up with it, and they're building muscle. These guys are getting stronger every day, losing fat. It's really awesome to see.
And I think specialty equipment is one thing that we offer that a lot of other people don't. A lot of other gyms out there. So safety squat bars, trap bars, the Renegade bar, and then even the attachments that we use on our cables, like a semi-supinated, a semi-pronated, and whatnot.
The bands.
The Cannonball. So the Cannonball grips. So there's just stuff like that we're going to use here to make things a little bit safer, a little bit more joint friendly, and they'll have a lot more carryover for most of the general population, because a lot of the general population is banged up or tight or restricted in some areas. So it's important to have some specialty stuff. What vitamins do I take? So for me, I'll always tell people it's based on your blood work, see where you're deficient, but there's a few staples that most people have in their diet, in their supplementation, that usually they're pretty universal for most people. So for me, what I'll recommend is a vitamin D3 and a vitamin K2, because K2 will help with the absorption of a vitamin D3. Just make sure that K2 is coming from MK7. It's a little bit more bioavailable and it absorbs a little bit better. Vitamin C, an omega-3 fish oil, and that must be a purified fish oil. You want to make sure it's a good quality. Nordic Naturals is one that I suggest. A probiotic, turmeric, And athletic greens is one that I've been using lately, and I know you'd love athletic greens too. It's a nice way to get some more probiotics in, some more your greens in, a lot of vitamins, and there's no bullshit in that product either. So that's especially if you, a good supplement to take.
You get up really early, you have early shift at work or whatever it may be. I like to take those greens fasted. It kind of just wakes me up, gets me going and stuff.
It does give you a nice kick in the ass as far as energy goes. Yeah, so if you're lacking on energy, that's definitely athletic greens is a nice supplement to add to the mix.
I'm sick. Then I had a coffee right after that. Now then I'm like,
then you're going.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So I have a question for you. So over the years, how would you say your training has evolved from what you used to do when you were, maybe let's just say, not so much when you were 20 and 19. We already know we all trained like knuckleheads back then. But let's just say like in the last 5 years, how has your training evolved?
I've been more conscious of movements and hitting movements where I feel the best, where there's no stress or joint stress or anything like that, lower back pain. I think in the years past, I was all about, I wanted to train heavy. I liked putting up heavy weight. That was my whole thing. And so sometimes I would ignore pains a little more. And now I don't. Now I'm feeling a certain pain. I know there's a better movement to work the muscle. I will do that other movement. And I've been more conscious of that. And the main thing is within the last couple of years, tension throughout my reps, feeling the actual muscle work, feeling the isometric hold, and that has been a game changer for me as I've been dialing in on not just going from A to B with a press, let's just say, or with a squat or pull. And when I say A to B, from point A to point B, I've been conscious of point A, point B, realizing what muscle group is working, activating those muscles. I'm a big believer in mind muscle connection. So when you're focused on the muscle being worked, it's gonna enhance the training effect.
What is so are you doing like an upper lower split these days?
Upper lower now.
Ruben and I haven't had the time to train together these days, unfortunately. Once in a while on a Sunday, but he's doing his butt stuff with his girlfriend. I know that sounds weird, but he's training his glutes.
Nicole makes me do it. So.
But do you do an upper lower split still? What is what's it for the people at home that are like just interested? What would be like a typical upper body day for you? Just a quick rundown of like a general day. Like let's just say a routine that you're doing now.
Let's say quick upper body split. Like right now, I've been working weighted push-ups. So hitting weighted push for like 3 sets of 8 and countering that with, I believe right now I'm doing some barbell rows, bent over rows with the Renegade bar. And that Renegade bar,
it's like an angled handle.
Yeah, so that placement's at like a 45-degree angle. So I feel really good pulling.
What's after that?
And then I have those two together, and then I have a drop set of those two, hitting 70% of whatever I did my third set. And then I'll hit that for about 1 before max rep. I always like to leave one of the 10.
So those are both for 6 to 8, and then you do a back off set.
And then I do a back off set. At 1 before max, I'll leave
max?
1 to the tank. Sometimes, especially my push-ups, since my injury, I'll leave maybe 2 or 3 before max, kind of get a good feel of it.
What's after those first two?
Right after that, I'll hit unilateral movement. I've been doing a incline one-arm dumbbell press, and that'll go right into a seated cannonball, seated row. Working my unilateral movements in there. I love using one arm, one-legged movements and everything, working that balance. I'm a big believer in performance. I still play baseball in the summer, and I'm a big believer as athletes. We're always kind of on one foot and moving, and I always like to train that way to keep me like ready to go at all times. And then I end the day, pumping up the guns a little bit, working on the arms,
Palooza 2019.
Triceps been working and going from there. And then, on my lower body split day, for example, I've been using the safety bar, love the specialty equipment there, hitting reverse lunges, supersetting that with RDL, doing a stagger stance RDL, which we've introduced to the clients recently and they love it. Kind of going with that, and then my upper body day after, vertical press, vertical pull. My day 4, which is interesting, recently I've been lower split hinge, doing a hip hinge, but I do feel my lower back a little bit. So these last couple weeks I kind of changed it to a full body routine. So I didn't kind of just stick to it because I was listening to my body and working a lighter hip hinge movement and kind of taking it into a high rep scheme, short rest, and kind of getting my heart rate jacked up a little bit. And I've just been feeling better since doing that.
So hope you guys are taking notes.
Yeah,
it's a lot of info.
Chris, what would you say? What have you been training? But I know you do a lot of jiu-jitsu and training on that.
So in the gym, my training now is I've always started with a thorough dynamic warm-up. These days, my warm-up will start with a little bit more specific to the area that I'm training. I used to kind of just do a full body warm-up.
Yeah.
These days, I want to warm up the area that I'm training a little bit more, so I go a little bit more in depth. So if I'm doing an upper body day, I'm doing a lot of pulling, open up the upper back, a lot of YWTs and shit like that. Once I get into the training, like I used to always program the bigger lift first. For me now, I always kick it off with a primer. So after the warm-up, I finish the warm-up with some type of explosive movement, whether that be some type of plyometric, a jump, a throw, maybe even a sprint. And then I'll get into a primer.
Actually, sorry, I've been doing that too. I kind of forgot. I mentioned that, but that's been a big change for me.
Yeah. Like so, and Dr. John Russin has, and we've talked about him before too on the show.
His articles.
Yeah, so he's kind of popularized this over the years. At least for me, it's where I've kind of learned this. But get a pump before you hit your big lift for the day. Yeah, you might lose a small percentage on your big lift, but that's okay. As long as you got your ego checked out. As long as you're not competing in powerlifting, it's something that's going to keep you healthy. So getting a pump first has been really a game changer for me because I feel great by the time. And actually, I even feel stronger now that I'm used to doing that because I'm now like I'm more warmed up by the time I get there. So maybe a little bit of pre-fatigue, but for the most part, I feel great.
To answer that, honestly, I can't do it the other way now.
Yeah.
The way I've been doing it now in the last 2 years, kind of.
You just feel safer. The joints are more lubricated.
I feel off. I can't. I have to hit a prime movement.
Yeah.
A lot of band work, everything. That's when I use those bands, especially on lower body day. I like to, get the glutes going. I just feel so much better that way. It's been a difference.
So I'll hit the primer, then I'll hit the big lift of the day, and then I just finish off with a lot of accessory work. These days, I've been working on a lot more like half kneeling stuff. A stagger stance and shit like that to work more stability, more control, like especially in the last few years, more controlled reps, so controlled concentrics, controlled eccentrics, not all the time, a lot of isometrics and shit like that, but a lot of that stuff I play around with more these days because it's not so much about pushing numbers like it was for me back then. Of course, I always want to get stronger and build upon that, but it's not week in, week out trying to just push numbers. It's about training smart and for the long haul.
I think those type of exercises give a real shock to your body, especially for guys maybe watching that never done any of these movements. And guys, check out his Instagram, check out my Instagram. A couple of those movements you'll see, like the single head stagger stance, overhead press. Yeah, I mean that's new. If you haven't done that, do it. It's a game changer for you.
And learning how to do it right though. Learning how to do it right because it's half kneeling stance is not just getting down on one knee. You have to really shift the pelvis into the right position, which we'll show you. Maybe we'll put up a video or something like that to kind of show you how to get into that position, but to really make sure you maintain tension throughout that because it's not just resting on one knee. So we have to make sure we get that in check too.
So, and that's another thing learning when you talk about what you learned more in the last couple of years, how maximizing tension from head to toe, like any exercise you do, whether it be arms, whether it be legs, it should be full body tension, bracing the core, squeezing the glutes, staying tight. And I think that's something, especially early on, even to my mid-20s training, I wasn't as mindful of that, of creating tension.
But you see the guy bench pressing with his feet coming off the floor and shit. And,
it's just so much of that, even as simple as, creating that torque with the barbell and,
having tension,
bringing those elbows towards the rib cage. I think that's been such a big difference into the prime movements. Those are game changers, especially when we're headed towards trying to be healthier. And how about this? Because I know been doing jiu-jitsu with your training, and I know there was that 1 month you were gonna do a tournament. It sucks that it got canceled.
It was February. We'll get it.
Yeah, let's do it. How did you change your training from that when you were about a month away from that?
Less volume, for sure. Less volume. I programmed it to kind of peak for that week. So the intensity was higher, the volume was lower. So I was training strictly for strength because I didn't want to be sore because I didn't want my performance to be impeded during jiu-jitsu training, right? So definitely a lot less volume for sure, and it was shorter workouts too because I didn't want to be fried out. So more explosive for sure, explosive movements and just training for strength. And I adjusted it. If I didn't feel great on the day of training,
jiu-jitsu, that's a lot. I know sometimes you would tell me
jiu-jitsu takes a lot out of
my elbow.
Like if my shoulder was jacked up because and my AC joint was a little fucked for a while. It still kind of is my left shoulder. But then, your bumps and bruises kind of just part of the name of the game. It's part of it. But just adjusting to that, and just like my shoulder hurt, then I would just take it easy that day, or more of a warm up and stuff like that for sure. And a lot more emphasis on mobility and that type of shit.
Especially that.
Yeah. So, but anything else you want to add?
Well, that's it. It's pretty badass. Jiu-jitsu, strength training.
Thanks, man.
That's right.
So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. If you have any questions for us, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. I am at Chris_Tutela, Tutela. Feel free to shoot me a DM. Happy to answer your questions next time we're on the show. Rube, where can they find you?
Guys, same thing on Instagram. DM me any questions, especially with the show. I am at _Ruben, RUBEN_Borges, BORGES. That really helps us go along nice. Guys, ask us any question. We're happy to answer them all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just make sure that you don't follow Ruben Sr.
Yes,
follow
do not.
This guy.
That's my father.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will catch you next week on episode 10 already. 10 weeks in.
TTS Talk.
Catch you guys next week.
All right. Peace.
That is a large.
Medium.
Is it?
What?
He's wearing a medium.
No, this was
he's
a lot bigger
built
before.
like a fucking orangutan,
no.
and he's wearing a medium.
Well, this was a lot loose before just because it got washed a couple times.
You're a large.
No, I can't, Chris.
You have to go. Little Nicky.
The large
you got to start wearing a shirt that fits you.
Right over here.
No, it will not. It will not.
It would be right over here. I'm like, dude, what is this? It's true.
How do you feel about this?
He's like one of those dinosaurs with a big head and little.
Jesus. I didn't ask you to insult the guy. I just wanted you to insult this t-shirt.
Just shattered my dreams in life. I'm feeling good today. Just a little.
And Mel gave us some.